Is there any way I can fix my relationship with my dad, even though he disowned me and made it clear he wants nothing to do with me? I'm 26 female. My mom is 45 and dad is 46. It's going to be a long and harsh ride, but I'm okay with being cussed, abused, cursed, because I very much deserve and numb to them after going through this much. Never in my life have I thought I'd be in this place. My life is a mess right now. I'm the only child of my parents. They met when they were as young as 16 and had me when my mom was 19 and dad 20. I was an unplanned pregnancy. My father is no less than a man any woman would want to be with. He cooked, worked, did everything, literally kissed the ground my mom walked on. I never thought him of being unreasonable or anything negative. He was a family man, but someone you'd live to be with. My mom is cool too. She was always there for me and helped me out however she can. My dad wanted to have more kids, but my mom didn't. Never told me why. When I was 16, mom was 35 then, my dad had an accident and became bedridden for 7 months. Though we never had to worry about finances, I studied at a private school. We are not from the States, but still it costs a lot where I'm from. There were bills, so my mom got a job and the following months she was in my dad's shoes. She did everything, and I too helped her out with chores sometimes. Here's the kicker. She met someone and became emotionally involved. One day, dad was bedridden for 5 months at that point, if I remember right. She came to my room and silently broke down crying after my dad dozed off. She told me she likes someone from work. She isn't attracted to my dad. This whole ordeal is too much for her. She has needs too. She showed me her text messages and told me about the guy. He was 26 at the time. They were flirting. I was young at that time. Seeing her break down broke my heart. I wasn't close to my dad as much as I was to my mom because my mom was the one to spend more time with me than my dad at a time. I know it sounds stupid, but I was a teenager then. I told her I understood and I'd cover for her. She began coming home later. We both told dad it was just her work. I never got involved until one day my mom told me she wanted me to meet and discuss a very important topic. We went out and I met that guy for the first time. He was a creep. Shaggy clothes and nothing like my dad. I don't even know why would my mom choose this a-hole over my dad. We sat down at a fancy dinner place and my mom told me she was expecting a baby. I was like, what? They had the audacity to kiss right in front of me. I was pathetically disgusted by them. I told them what did they planned. She told me she doesn't know. She wants to keep this baby, but she loves my dad too. It was an awkward time and we came home that night. We talked that night and she said she wants to keep the baby. I again naively chose to keep my mouth shut. So after this, my mom drops the news to my dad that she's pregnant. And my dad is delighted but visibly worried, as finances are still in the question. So in the next 2 months, he begins to do exercise and therapy so he could go to work again, even after doctor said he still needs time. He resumes work and put my mom into the stay-home mom position like before. Her affair was short-lived. When my brother was born, my dad didn't sign the birth certificate. He bought a set of paper but refused to tell me what it is. Mom was still in C-section and he never told me what happened. He refused to acknowledge my brother. When my mom was brought home, he told her he wants a divorce. It hit my mom like a truck. She literally had a mental breakdown. She kept begging and crying hysterically. My dad was indifferent and told her he knows everything. Said he regrets ever having me because I'm an ungrateful and entitled selfish person just like her. They had an argument when I was holding my brother. He called her a whore and that she couldn't keep her legs closed and wants him to raise the child of infidelity. My mom kept crying and begging for forgiveness. He packed up his bags and left. They got divorced, which took 8 months to be finalized. I don't know much details, but dad would pay spousal support for my mom and child support for me. Mom got the house, and beside this, everything was settled. He willingly gave away primary rights of me to my mom, even refused having weekends, just supervised visitations. He never once reached out to me. I reached out to him countless times throughout during and after divorce, but never did once he wanted to be involved in my life. When I turned 18, he called me once. I remember I was elated that day, but to my surprise, he was cold. He just told me he hopes I stay happy and that he forgives me for what I did, but can't never forget he was betrayed by his own blood. He told me he disowns me. It hit me hard, harder than I ever hoped. I remember I fell on the ground and cried. I called my mom names and that she ruined our family. I even cussed my brother, that he is a constant reminder of what she did, and I can't ever have a father again. After divorce, mom never really dated anyone. She got into depression and got into a crappy but decent paying job, rented out one of the rooms in the house to make ends meet. She still celebrated her wedding anniversary, cries sometimes. My brother often asks about his father, but I don't have an answer except for we don't have one. It's been 9 years since the divorce. Mom never really moved on. She occasionally hooks up but never thought of settling down. She thinks working for $60K a year job and getting rent from a single room is enough to make ends for the rest of our lives. My dad, on the other hand, got his life together. Started a business, remarried, and has a son. I often scroll his profile. He never accepted my friend/follow request and ignores my texts. But what I've learned is he's living a great life. I know I don't deserve to say it. I am much to blame as much as my mom for destroying our lives and my brother's lives. But I miss my dad. I miss him a lot. I miss the times we had as a family. I went through heartbreaks, graduation, I was in an accident, and I didn't have my dad beside me. It feels like my insides are screaming. I tried to meet him, but when he found out I wanted to meet him, he moved to another city. I had a son last year. He looks so much like my dad. I want to name him after my dad and I want him to meet him. I'll be getting married by the end of this year, and I want nothing more than my dad to walk me down. I messed up. I want him to scream at me, tell me I don't deserve to be his daughter. I want him to be angry, but I want him in my life. I want my dad. All these years and not a single day goes by I don't miss him. I've sent long emails explaining and apologizing, but no response. I met him once November 2020. I walked up to him and said hi. He was with his son and wife. He looked up straight in my eyes and replied, "Who are you?" When I told him I was his daughter with tears in my eyes, he said he doesn't have one and walked away. I was with my fiancé. He consoled me. My dad is by no means a bad person. He did everything any normal person in his shoes would. I know I don't have the right to apologize or even ask him for anything. But for once, I want him to acknowledge me. I just want him to acknowledge me for a single day, which is on my wedding. And I want him to look me in the eye and tell me I'm his daughter. Now for the comments. I know you were young, but I think it really crossed the point of no return when you saw him pushing himself against doctor's orders and possibly harming himself for a baby you knew wasn't his, and just said nothing. There is a level of wrong that even being young and in a bad position between your parents can't excuse, and that was it. Just stop. Everything you typed here is about you. You clearly don't care about his pain or what he wants or needs because you keep hurting him to try to get what you want. You're showing him every time you reach out and push his boundaries that you're still selfish, still only thinking of your want and still don't care about his feelings. All you're doing is making it clear he made a right choice for his own well-being. Just stop. Fact. She was trying to play it off as I was only a teenager and pretty stupid. Yeah, teenagers can be stupid and make mistakes, but they're not stone cold-hearted and ruthless. How can you look at your dad every single day for months while he's literally bedridden, knowing what your mom is making him go through? She's making herself out to be the victim, but imagine knowing that your wife and daughter have no shred of empathy for you after you took care of them for decades. This sub is unreal. I've seen many posts from teenagers younger than you that outed a cheating parent that are praised for it. For some reason, everyone is now saying it's not your fault. You were just a kid. You were manipulated. I don't get it. You were 16 and knew it was wrong. You didn't tell your father. In fact, you helped your mother cheat. To top it off, you were complicit in trying to pass off another man's kid onto your father. You made your choices and your father made his. Now all of you have to live with them. I don't see myself as an innocent victim. I know damn well I had a part in it too. I participated in it and actively helped mom. I know my dad is hurting and very angry, and more than that, I know I don't have a tiny bit of right to ask for forgiveness for what I did. I wish just for one single day he can forgive me and be my dad. I want him to acknowledge me just for once. He won't. From the sounds of it, this is something that he's going to take to his grave. And if I were you, I think you'd be better off no longer trying, because it's just hurting you. There may come a point, of course, when he does come to make contact, but that has to be on his own terms. And at that point, you have to decide what you want to do about it. Your mother has a screw loose. What in the world was she thinking? Talking to her underage child about her sex life with another man, showing texts, and trying to get you to cover for her? She should have never tried to recruit you or put you in the middle of that. You're right, but I guess everyone has their own issues. I don't blame my mom for what she did. I also don't blame my dad for what he did. My mom got carried away and essentially destroyed her family. I never would forgive her for that, but I can't cut her off from my life. Because I lived with her for 5 years after divorce, from 17 till 22, during which I saw how remorseful she was. It was only when I moved out at 23 she finally tried to move on by hooking up, but even then she couldn't. She was overcame with grief. I don't blame my mom for what she did. You should. She did a lot. Forced you to take on a massive secret, abandoned her sick husband, cheated on him, and tried to pass off another man's baby as his. Go get therapy with your brother and try to move on from your father. Even though you were only 16, your actions killed your father's love for you. And unfortunately, you have to accept that. Do you have anyone else that could possibly give you away at the wedding? No one. We are expats. My father got a job here and thus we settled down. We are originally from Syria. It was just us, me, mom, and dad. Then he left us. Mom got into crippling depression. We don't have any family here. He's ended your relationship and move on. Let him move on. You need to move on as well. This is the best thing for all parties. I guess you're right. I'll try. Thank you. Last story. I'm happy my sisters got their karma after hiding my husband's affair. I don't know where to start. The story happened 13 years ago. I've been previously married to my ex-husband. Let's call him John. We've met in college and immediately hit it off. I thought this man was the love of my life, my soulmate, the father of my future children. Boy, I was wrong. 3 years into our relationship, he proposed. I said yes because I loved him with all of my heart. Looking back, it was the biggest mistake of my life. After being married for a year, I got a random message while laying on my couch and eating. I checked it, and it was from a woman named Lisa. She started apologizing and talking about how she was my husband's girlfriend. My heart sank, and I almost choked on my food. She started swearing up and down that she never knew he was married, that she only found out recently when he confessed to her and wanted to break things off because he was feeling guilty about cheating on me. I was destroyed and started crying, so that's why he's been so loving these days. That's why he started taking me out a lot. I realized a lot of red flags while rethinking my entire marriage. I decided to confront him when he got home. He tried to deny it at first, but started crying after confessing. He said he wanted to fix things and to go to marriage counseling. I immediately declined. You're the one who ruined our marriage. Why am I supposed to go? I started packing my bags while he cried, but your sisters know. That made my heart drop. Basically, my 2 sisters knew about his affair but didn't tell me because he wanted to fix things. I didn't know how I managed to drive my car without crashing. I was filled with anger, rage, sadness. At least I slapped the living crap out of that bastard before leaving. Once I got to my sister's house, I started screaming about how could they do this to me. I'm their sister. They tried to calm me down, but it made me angrier. They said I should just get over it and let my husband fix his mistake. At that moment, I saw red. I pulled my sister's hair. Then she begged me to let go, but I didn't. My other sister pulled me away and I proceeded to slap her. I was so angry. How could they take my husband's side? I'm the one who got cheated on and betrayed by my sisters. Our parents died when we were young, so our aunt raised us until she passed away. That's why they're the only family I have. And I got betrayed by them? I left the city, divorced and heartbroken, moved to another state to start a new life. I quit my job to start a new one in the city. That's where I met my now husband, Mike. He was so sweet to me, which I didn't think much of. I thought he treated everyone the same, but he didn't. He was talking normally to other coworkers, but was sweet to me. I developed a crush on him, but got scared my feelings would get hurt again. It was a shock when he was the one who confessed and asked me to be his girlfriend. I hesitated but said yes. We started dating for 3 years and they were the best years of my life. He helped me heal a lot from my previous betrayals. We got married and had 2 beautiful girls. I love my family so much. My husband is the best and my daughters are the sweetest. They're the best thing that happened to me. We've been together for 10 years, married for 7. As for my ex-husband, he got recently divorced after cheating on his wife. I wasn't shocked, but I felt bad for his wife. The bastard tried contacting me and crying about how it was the biggest mistake of his life, but I blocked him. I still have my old email and I forgot about it. My 2 sisters contacted me there too. One got dumped by her boyfriend after he cheated on her and kicked her out of their apartment. The other also got cheated on, and her husband stole her car to run away with his affair partner. Me and my husband read the email together and started laughing. I'm happy they're getting their karma. Now they know how I felt. They wanted me to help them and to reconcile, but I just wrote "get over it" and blocked them. I don't need garbage in my life. I only need my husband and daughters. I'm so thankful and grateful for my family. God bless them. I got to live happily while the people who betrayed me are miserable. To be honest, I'm glad my ex cheated. If it wasn't for his infidelity, I wouldn't have met my wonderful husband. God, I love that man so much. Karma always make an appearance at the right time. We really cannot choose our own family. And blood's definitely not always thicker than water. So happy for you that you found your person. Damn, the women in your family have had it rough. And so did your ex's second wife. But congrats on having an awesome, happy family now. Can you imagine taking the bastard husband's side over their own sister? How did they both agree to this? My brother-in-law would have lost a limb if he did that. My kids would be in so much trouble if they sided with person that cheated on their sibling. I don't care how old they get me. I didn't raise a troop of butt monkeys. If my sister would have found out my husband was having a secret affair, I would have found out immediately upon seeing him afterwards because I would have asked, "Husband, why are you castrated?" I'm sorry your sisters betrayed you, shaking my head. If I knew my sister's husband was having an affair, I'd tell her the second I found out, even if it meant calling her in front of him. Karma's a bitch, and I'm glad they got what was coming to them while you were getting the happiness you deserve.